And, um, you know, a lot of the feedback I got was your resume is confusing
Hmm.
because it's not linear.
Okay.
It's like each part of the story, each node makes sense, but when you bring them all together in a traditional resume form, it's hard to connect the dots. So my wife, who's much smarter and wiser than I am, one day said, "Look, your resume is confusing. You're probably not going to be able to make it easier to understand, but you like making graphics. Why don't you take your resume and turn it into a graphic?" So Joseph, that's what I did. And you're right. It's just a relatively simple, straightforward graphic. I made it in PowerPoint and lifted the things from my
Hmm.
resume and put them into the graphics. So, high school teacher, what did I do? I taught science. I was the varsity swim coach. I wrote for public television, and I was on a National Sciences committee. So those were the activities connected
Hmm.
with being a school teacher, and I did that for each of my different roles. My wife, again, who's much smarter and wiser than I am, looked over my shoulder and said, "But remember, a potential employer or a potential teammate, while they may find the activities provides context, what they're really interested in are those durable skills,
Yeah.
evergreen skills that you cultivated during your time in that role that you can pull forward, that you can transfer into a novel experience that you might be faced with as a leader or as a team member." So, for example, as a social scientist, once I had earned my doctorate, it was during this time that I really learned not just what qualitative and quantitative methods were, but how do you bring them into the real world and actually apply them to real data sets, knowing that you're going to have real impact on the lives of students or the practices of educators or the decisions that policymakers make. So in this graphic, the activity's very straightforward. Like it was pretty easy to put together. Those durable skills, like really boiling down like 5 years of time in a particular role to just a few
Yeah.
words that are expressed in plain language that a person maybe inside or outside of your field would understand. Joseph, that was really tough.
Hmm.